Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who think we only have Ronnie the Roofer to thank for the dildo burgers, you're wrong. Because now we have the Mr. Obama, who is the president, who was placed in the position of power to destroy this once great country, that is also making me aware of all the derivatives of the dildo burgers possibilities. Now, moving past the fact that you know that I believe on the obverse and reverse of the $1 bill, there are 3,300 pictographs. And it is not as if I had a broom or anything that I flew around on and got this information. No, it's not like that, ladies and gentlemen. These pictographs that exist on the obverse in the $1 bill and the reverse of the $1 bill are real. And this is a pictograph or a partial view of one of the many thousands of pictographs that exist on the reverse of the $1 bill. And this is the part of a face of a vampire squid that existed in the Cambrian age about 330 million years ago. And this is an abomination. In case anybody doesn't know what an abomination is, this is an abomination, and you can tell that this is a perfect representation of the 44th POTUS because of his ears. Notice the ears. Now, moving past that, this pictograph that exists on the back of the $1 bill is only one of thousands. Now we're going to turn that to the clockwise, and now you're going to see how it could actually look like a vampire squid swimming through the oceans. That's another one of the thousands of pictographs. Now this particular pictograph represents the United States of America. However, in the prophecies that exist as pictographs on the obverse and reverse of the $1 bill, when you take this and turn it upside down, you have an Indian chief with what appears to be a war bonnet on his head with a bow and arrows. And under the eagle is a nuclear detonation. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a nuclear detonation. And to prove it's a nuclear detonation, I'm going to blow it up as big as I can on this screen, and then I'm going to zoom in on it, and then I'm going to let you see that this appears to be, by every definition of the word detonation, this is a detonation. Now, as opposed to what is called a glory that exists over the pyramid, the eye of the pyramid, this is a glory. To see the way the light radiates from the eye of God that exists over the Great Pyramid, this is a glory, and this is a detonation. They are two completely different things. And the reason they exist is because on the reverse of the $1 bill, whatever decided to create the pictographs on the $1 bill, when they decided to create them, put it in as a series of pictographs as a storyline that was going to be part of recorded history and the end of the world. And this is a representation of the 44th POTUS, and the reason he is a representation of the 44th POTUS is because depicted George Washington, above George Washington's head are two little candy canes with 4 dashes, which represent the 44th president. In this case, that would be Mr. Obama. And moving onwards even a little bit further, this is a representation of an Indian chief. And this Indian chief is the god of war that existed in the 1770s, and his ability to kill, maim, and murder was limited to arrows and a bow. And this is the Indian chief that represents the god of war that was limited to a bow and arrows. However, in today's world, we are no longer limited to a set of bow and arrows, and we are, in fact, perfectly capable of creating a nuclear detonation. And this is the nuclear detonation that appears over the eagle's head in real life, in real time, because as a form of prophecy, the entity or remnant society that created the $1 bill, the words in the Bible, the Ark of the Covenant, and the Great Pyramid put a storyline in a series of pictographs that are indisputable, put it in stone, and then publicized it to all four corners of the world, just like in Deuteronomy 32, verses 1 through 7, where the Lord God said he would prophesy his name throughout the world like the fine mist on the blades of grass, blah, blah, blah. But in other words, he was going to put his word throughout the whole world, and he didn't mean the Bible, because the Bible does not go to all four corners of the world. He meant the $1 bill. Now, moving past that, here is a picture of the glory in its glory as a radiance over the Great Pyramid, and what I say is the eye of God, and simply because it was hijacked by an evil cabal known as the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and of course the new boys in town, the Dildo Burgers, because the plot to destroy this world was created before the world began. It is almost as if the whole storyline existed and has been played out 1,000 times, similar to that of the flight of the Phoenix. But moving back over once again, let us bring you down to, if this is a glory and this is a detonation, can you see that there is a distinct difference between this detonation that appears above the eagle's head and this glory that appears over the pyramid represented as the eye of God? They are two distinctly different things. And this is a picture of a detonation, and let me show you what a picture of a detonation looks like from an atomic bomb. This is the atomic bomb and the way it is created, and this is a picture of a detonation of the nuclear particles and how the neutrons are expanded outwards, and it gives you the whole storyline inside there. But notice, it's not a radiation, it's a blast, it's a detonation, and that detonation is exactly similar in nature to this detonation. Two completely different things. Radiation, detonation. This is the eye of God, and this is the evil seed of death. I call it the evil seed of death because nuclear radiation will be the end-all, be-all of this world. And proof of that is that, in fact, we are not getting any information about the nuclear power plant called the Calhoun nuclear power plant. We're not getting any information from Fukushima, which you know in English means fuck you proper. But if you didn't have it in English, this could be a universal code for fuck you proper. Fuck you proper, because we're not getting the information, no information at all. Now, 1 month, we should be getting live video coverage. They can throw up a camera on top of one of those towers and show us live video coverage of the millions and millions and millions of gallons of water that are being thrown upon and sprayed into what's left of the reactors from each individual 8-inch Rupp Gorman pump, capable of pumping 300 to 400,000 gallons of water per day. And there are probably more than, from the one day that they showed us pictures, more than 20 pump trucks pumping 300,000 gallons of water per day on the nuclear facility at Fukushima, which means fuck FUcUProper, because all that water from the Rupp Gorman pumps is being pumped on the nuclear facility and either being atomized into moisture, going up into the cloud vapor, and coming to America to murder us on a massive level, which goes along the lines of Agenda 21, brought to you by the Bilderbergers, the Rockefellers, and the Rothschilds as part of an evil and sinister plan that has been in existence before the creation of the $1 bill, because it's depicted on the $1 bill as a series of pictographs. The plan was probably created 10,000 years ago, and I don't expect anybody to believe me or even understand how the Bilderberger was formed. Thousands of years ago, all of this was part of a plan that goes beyond anything most people's minds can comprehend. And all I expect is that 1,000 years from now, that these people that have instituted Agenda 21 via the Georgia Guidestones look at my videos and say, you know, that crazy bastard from Howard Beach, he was right. He was right, that crazy bastard from Howard Beach. And at that time, ladies and gentlemen, I need to get a bigger camera.